So talk to us about the troll that is coming to Peace Park. It is currently started today, being built. Just to get to this point, how much does this mean to you to finally see this thing come together?
Yeah. So the troll that I'm building here in the Peace Park, it's called. Oh no, I can't say what it's called because it's a secret until it opens Friday, 2 weeks from now. But we started building it 2 days ago. So it'll be under construction here for somewhat 2.5 weeks. It's a big female, a little bit of an older character. She is what you can say, she have really wide hips and is sitting good on the ground, and then she has like what I call a fountain with like troll symbols on it that symbolize that we should remember to share the water with the other animals that we share our land and our city with. And I've chosen to make that story for this sculpture because people told me that the creek was contaminated and there was chlorine in the other fountains that was because the water circulates around, but that means that the animals actually can't really drink that water. So when it's super hot here in Austin, then sometimes some of the birds and the squirrels, they can struggle finding some water to drink. And then I thought that it was nice, since there was so many people running back and forth here, exercising, all having a fountain. So I was hoping that all of you people could share a little bit water in the fountain, so there's enough for everybody.
Where do ideas like this come from? Because is each one unique in its own way?
Yeah, this is my number 129. I have a map. It's called thomasdambo.com/trollmap. You can find them all there, and then I always write poems and small stories and fairy tales. And I used to be a rapper, so I'll bust out of 16 bars, but then it's just like a fairy tale about sharing water with the birds instead, right? But I get inspired when I'm here. Then I write the poem when I'm taking a shower one day, just to get a little bit of time away from my screaming twin boys. And then, so it's, yeah, but I'm one of those people who just constantly gets inspired and gets ideas. And
choosing Austin as this next one, was it inspired by a visit here? What made you decide here?
Yeah, so I was invited to come here. There's a really, I was invited to come here to Austin because some locals here had seen some of my sculptures in Maine, where I have a big exhibition with 5 sculptures there. And then they took the initiative to do a fundraiser and put some money and get me to come here to Peace Park. And so I'm really grateful for that.
Do you mind expanding just on the feelings of wanting, the locals wanting you to come here? Just how much does that mean to you?
It's been quite of a journey for me. I started building. I started as a musician, and then I started making graffiti, and I started doing street art, and I made birdhouses, and my birdhouses became sculptures that became bigger and bigger and bigger, and grow into this. And now I've made these 129 of these giant sculptures all over the world, and I'm now like in demand in this way that people, they invite me to come here and make something, and it just feels really, powerful for me that I get to use my time and my life to make something that makes other people happy and something that educates, because all my art is about turning our trash into something that's positive, rather than having our trash suffocate our world. Then build something that's meaningful with our trash, something that can have the power to change the world and let us see that the world is not running out of resources. We are just wasting our resources in the wrong way. So if we would learn and understand that one man's trash is another man's treasure, then we would understand that the world is filled with resources that we can use for positive things. I've now had more than 10 million people come out and visit my trash troll sculptures, right? And I think that's a really powerful thing that we could all remember. I go to the restaurant in the airport, and then we don't even get a cutlery anymore, like you get just plastic and disposable, and it's like, I think we've just been misled. I don't think it's smarter or cheaper or easier for anybody. Then now the lady who works in the restaurant, now she has to empty the trash can 20 times a day because it's just filled up with all this plastic, instead of just taking the cutlery and then putting it into the dishwasher and taking it out again, And maybe it's, I don't know if they can save 5 cents in a week, but over 1,000 years, it's definitely a disaster, right? Because we're just filling our world up with landfills, and then the children of tomorrow have to play on playgrounds built on top of those landfills, and it's not going to fly in the long run, right? So that's what my art is about, and that's why I'm so happy and so proud to be invited here, that people want to have that message also to come here to Austin and come out and help me do it. So thank you for that.
I'm assuming it doesn't stop here.
No, I have
you want to just keep going and just keep doing it as long as it continues to evolve?
My mission is, like, I've called it a trail of 1,000 trolls, because when I made 100, I was like, I'm not done yet, right? It's going to be 1,000, right? So I put a really high number. And then what I'm trying to do now is to try and make projects that are a little bit where it's not only wood, because I started recycle sculptures in different mediums, like plastic and metal and old bicycles or whatever it could be, but then my troll sculptures got so immensely popular, so now that's what everybody wants. But now I try to use the trolls as a vehicle to kick the door open and do stuff with other things. An example is that I'm doing a project in Minnesota later this year, and then there's 5 trolls that are fighting a golden rabbit, and then the golden rabbit is made in plastic from a local industry. So like that, I try to also preach more about other types of trash than only the wooden scraps. This one here in Austin will be made of pallets and a decommissioned water tower, so that's what we use here.
Awesome. You had mentioned there's a poem at the base of this one.
Yeah.
Is that with each one you leave a little poem to go along with the sculpture?
I try to always write a little poem or a little story. Sometimes, I'm inspired to longer or shorter ones. This one here is 8 bars, that we call it in rap. I don't know if I can remember it, but it's something like, sometimes the summer times are dry, sometimes the sky will cry, sometimes I can't remember it, but it's over on the stone.
We'll make sure to get it into that. But why do you do that? Why instead of
Well, I made 9 hip hop albums, right? And I played hundreds of shows back in Denmark, and I was like a big rap star before I started making sculptures. So it's just a really nice little hobby to have, to figure out how can I tell this story with these words and make it rhyme, and then so you can fiddle it around, and I don't need anything. So if I'm sitting in the airplane, I can just write the whole thing in my mind, right? So that's just super satisfying for me. And then rhyming has been used for as long as people have been telling stories, right? But we just think about rap as a new thing, but rap is just like when it's on a beat, right? So when I just take the beat away, it just becomes a poem, and I'm just really good at writing poems because I've done it so much. So I think that's why I do it, and it makes sense for the exhibition to also have a little story that goes with it.
And how does this poem specifically connect with this troll?
So the poem is about this troll.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, sometimes the summer times are dry, sometimes the sky will cry, sometimes something full again, sometimes an empty drain. Sometimes are good for summer birds, sometimes they're cursed with thirst, so it always makes a difference when we fill the fountain up again. I think I messed it up a little bit, but basically it's just about that sometimes are good and sometimes are bad. We have to remember to take care of the birds and the animals.
Last question for you, just what do you hope people that walk by, maybe take their time to sit down and view it, just, what do you hope their takeaway is?
I hope that they will be inspired and see that you can, with our hands, us humans together, we can make really big things, and we can change the world, and we can, we don't have to just settle for the fact that everything is disposable, and we can force the airport to serve our food on real cutlery instead of disposable things, because things that are recyclable are as good as new stuff that just gets discarded. I've had more than 10 million people to come out and see my sculptures made out of trash. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of money, that's like any museum or amusement park would be happy to have 10 million people come out, right? So I have created a sustainable amusement park together with people, built with the people, from the people's trash. and that's the mission and the goal of my art.